Okay, so as promised, I will have a video regarding my take on the CCNP route exam. The new exam. Well, not really the new exam. Let's do that again. Okay, what's up guys? It's me, Dylan. So if you're new to the channel, welcome. And yeah, like I said during my intro, that I just took and passed the CCNP tshoot exam for me to renew all my professional level certification for Cisco, namely routing and switching and CCDP, design professional. So I'll give you my thoughts and the experience. So I took the exam in Brisbane. So it's so far. So if you don't know the background, or if you're new to the channel, or if you haven't been following like how I do my certification exams, previously I would go all the way to the Gold Coast. I took my very first exam down the Gold Coast, which is mostly like an hour away from Brisbane. I don't remember how we ended up taking the exam all the way down there, but that was my first exam, like the CCNP route and switch. And for some reason it became a tradition. Like when I went for my CCNP, which composed of like 3 exams, route, switch, tshoot, I've decided to take that exam in the Gold Coast, and I always take it at a certain time, always at 9 o'clock. No, yeah, always at 9 o'clock. For some reason, I don't know, it just became a tradition or a habit. Not really sure, I don't remember. This was like years ago. And decided to go take other tracks like the CCDP, which before you get there you need to take the CCNA level exam for the architecture, then the design. Then you need to take another exam just to pass, because there's 2 of the exams to get the CCDP is route and switch. So might as well get the CCDP. So that was my take on it. So that's the, yeah, you know, to be honest, that was the motivator why I opted to get a second one, because why not? You just need to take like a CCNA design and another professional level exam to get a second professional level certification. So that's what I did. And eventually I decided maybe it's time to get the CCIE, so I did my written exam almost 3 years ago. Then yeah, other certs like Brocade, VMware, and yada 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 yada. You can look that up in my LinkedIn, which I will be posting down there. Okay, so basically it's been a while since I've done. No, this is actually the first time I've done a renewal exam. So to be honest, it was, I still got you know, I still get nervous whenever I take an exam. This is just anything new to me. In a way makes me nervous for some reason, maybe nervousness, or I get excited. And this morning I took the 8 o'clock exam, and oh, by the way, I was mentioning earlier, right, I always take my exam down the Gold Coast. That eventually changed when I couldn't be bothered driving an hour down the coast. So I think after the CCNP, after getting the CCNP, all of my exams, the CCIE written, like the Brocade and the rest, they were taken in Brisbane, in the city. And for some reason after that, I I think I've taken, every time I take a Cisco exam in the city, it's always a new place. So I think I don't remember taking an exam twice to the same place. It's always different, just like what happened today. I took an exam. The name of the exam center is, it's the Pearson View. I didn't even know that they have their own testing facility. So it's the Pearson View Professional Certification Testing Center. It's in, if you're familiar with Australia, particularly in Brisbane, it's in Adelaide Street. So I took my exam there, and it was 8 o'clock, and I'm like, okay, to normally what I would do is, let me share with you my study habit. So I would really pound myself, really study, and the day before the exam, I wouldn't study at all. I wouldn't touch like any training materials. Then as much as possible, I want to be in the testing area at least 30 minutes before the actual exam, you know, just to relax myself. And this morning I left at 7 o'clock thinking, okay, so I have an hour. Usually it would take me 30 minutes to get there. That's already late. And luckily there were like 2 accidents, and I was actually late. So the stress level was there, not because of the exam this time, but because I'm going to be late, because I'm never late in any of my exams. I'm always at least, like I said, 30 minutes in the testing center, or I'm within the vicinity. My review of the testing center, it's really nice. So if I'm gonna be honest, it's so far the nicest testing center that I've been to, aside from the Cisco CCIE testing center in Sydney, where I took my CCIE lab exam. So obviously that's because that's Cisco. So this is Pearson View. The way I would describe it, there's like 2 sets of rooms, and there's like clear glass windows all over, and there's this proctor. She sees everybody from her standpoint, seeing over 2 rooms. I never get to experience that with the other testing centers, wherein they're just watching you through a camera. This is like the real deal. It reminds me of the Cisco lab exam that I took in Sydney. But anyway, so that was the that was the experience. Okay, so let me go back to the tshoot exam. Okay, so if this is the first time you've seen this video, or if this is the first time you've encountered me and your first time in the channel, so basically I passed my CCIE written exam. I took a first attempt on the CCIE lab. Unfortunately, that I didn't pass. So I took that 18 months in after passing my written, which is the deadline. You have to make your first attempt. Then you have another 18 months. You basically have like 3 years to do and to make and pass an attempt. So it's already January, and I need to make an attempt on the 21st of January. So I'm running out of time, and so many changes. Like I moved jobs, and I've been traveling, and I've decided, okay, let's do a clean slate. I will just renew my professional level certification, and we'll make another attempt to the written. So we'll let this pass, and that's why when I posted on Facebook, okay, I made the renewal, and it's Road to CCIE Season 2. And you might be asking, oh yeah, so to renew a professional level certification for Cisco, if you're still not familiar with it, for the CCNA, yes, all you have to do is take the renewal exam. For the CCNP level, because the CCNP level, regardless if you're a route switch, DP, collab, service provider, data center, there's like multiple exams. So your option is either to get one of the professional level exams on a different track. That's assuming you pass the prerequisite, you meet the prerequisite. So mostly either you are already a CCIE and you want to take a CCNP on a different track, or a CCNA on that track. So you can renew your DP. So let's say, for example, I'm CCNP Route Switch and CCDP. I'm also CCNA Security. If I take one of the exams to get the CCNP Security, that's also going to renew everything. So for me, I actually did the route and switch troubleshooting, which I remember back then when I was studying, it would be crazy to take the CCNP troubleshooting exam as your first exam. So what's my reasoning? To be honest, I'm too lazy to study like really hardcore to the books these days, and I really want to get renewed. So I decided to go for troubleshooting, go for the troubleshoot exam because one, I'm really going to be disappointed with myself if I'm going to fail this exam, considering that I've already made a CCIE lab attempt. The CCNP troubleshooting exam already provides you with something like the topology, the IP addressing scheme, both for IPv4 and IPv6, which in the real world is, you know, you can't just come in and you know, you can't just come in and troubleshoot without at least having something. So that's the reason why I chose troubleshooting, because it's more practical for me, and I find it more interesting to get into devices like routers and switches and troubleshoot, rather than go to 2 hours of your time doing multiple choice. Though I understand like the route and switch, you know, it's mostly multiple choice or drag and drop or whatever. I just find it more, in my perspective, choosing the troubleshooting exam, I find it more interesting, and it's a way as well to gauge myself where I'm at in my troubleshooting skills. So, and yeah, and speaking of which, like I said, I passed. So I have the paper right here, and I scored 986 out of 1,000. The passing score is 846, and at the bottom of the paper it's going to give you like a breakdown of like the technologies and how you did. So I was 100% on network principles, layer 2, layer 3, 100%, infrastructure security, 100%, infrastructure services, 100%. The only one that I missed was VPN technologies, which I'm still trying to figure out what question that was, though I'm not going to share what came out of the exam. Yeah, so it's alright. I got 75%, so overall I received 986, so which is not bad. Not bad at all. And how did I find the exam? I I don't even remember if I made a review of my CCNA Security exam, because I think I took the CCNA Security exam right after I took the CCIE lab exam, and I don't even remember why I decided to take a CCNA Security exam. But anyway, it's, if you're so used to the CLI, like, to be honest, it's been a while really that I taken that kind of setup, in a way that if you've taken the CCIE lab and if you have experience working with routers and switches, it's like the closest thing you can get, even though the CCIE lab is all virtualized. But it's so close to reality that when you go back to a simulated environment, like the CCNP troubleshooting or the CCNA route and switch, you have all these labs. They're like simulated or emulated. It's not even emulated, it's like simulated, because not all the commands work. So if you have all these, so that's one of the things that I love about the troubleshooting exam, is because you've gained all this experience from work and from your professional job, and you get to apply those things. And you have all these run commands and your debugs, and they don't work. They don't work. So in a way, that's good, because it makes you think like, okay, so what other commands can I run to make this, to find out what's actually going on. So that really helped in a way. So because you're not only stuck, because there's so many ways to troubleshoot an issue aside from the ping and the trace routes and all the other basic commands and the debugs and the show IP blah and the show run. Okay, so that's one of the things that I noticed with these exams, or the simulated exams, is, and something that you should expect as well if you are taking a lab attempt, or if you plan to make a lab attempt for the CCNP or other. I'm not sure about the other tracks like SB. Like I'm pretty sure it would look the same. Like not, oh yeah, which reminds me, when I did the CCNP Security exam, I was CCNA, yeah, the CCNA Security, and I was like configuring an ASA on the exam, and I was like clicking this, clicking that, and I think I did the CLI command and it wasn't working, and I was trying to configure it on how I would normally configure it in the real world, that if sometimes if it doesn't work for me, I start over. I wanted to erase the entire config, but that wouldn't work for the exam, aside from you're gonna run out of time. So as far as the questions are concerned, again, I'm not gonna share like what actually came out. It's pretty fair, just like what Jeremy Chiawara would describe of CBT Nuggets would describe the exam. It's fun, it's fair, it will test your know-how, considering that the topology is already pre-provided. So basically, all you have to do is just make sure you can build this thing from scratch and ask somebody to break it for you, misconfigure something here and there, and go for it. So that's another way to test your skill. I was able to finish the exam in less than, I think I have an hour left. To be honest, it was a weird feeling, because there were like, I think 24 questions. That would include like labs and an assortment of things. Somewhere around the 24 questions, and I'm already on my 20th question, and I was really quick, to be honest. I think I finished in less than an hour, and when I was on question number 20, I started to think like maybe I should slow down, or should I get worried? Because like I said, it's been a while since I've actually sat on a Pearson VUE testing center. Unlike previously, it's like every 3 months or every 6 months I would go to a testing center, and you just get so used to how it's done. So unlike now, where in my last exam was like a CCNA Security exam, and before that was the actual CCIE lab, it just gives you a different mindset. And you know, then you have work. Yeah, okay, so that's it. That's it as far as my experience with the CCNP troubleshooting renewal certification renewal experience is concerned. So if you have any questions or if you have any comments, don't forget to leave a comment down there, and leave a like if you find this useful. Share it around with anybody who you think finding this useful. Okay, and I leave you guys on this, and remember guys, keep on studying. Remember, it's all worth it. Thank you. Bye.